O mankind, we created you from a single pair of a male. O mankind, we created you from a single pair of a male and a female, and made you into nations and tribes, that ye may know each other, not that ye may despise each other. Verily the most honored of you in the sight of God is he who is the most righteous of you, and God has full knowledge and is well acquainted with all things. The American Muslim Mission in Focus. This program deals with the misunderstandings that exist in this country about the Muslim religion. We hope this program will bring about a better understanding of the religion of Islam. We also hope this program will encourage all people to begin to know each other better, so that we can work together to assure the survival of our country. Now your host, Imam Ibrahim Kamaluddin.
Assalamu alaikum. May the peace of Almighty God be upon you. Dear beloved viewers, we welcome you again to 30 minutes of information, good wholesome information on American Muslim Mission in Focus. As you can see, we have with us today an interfaith panel. And this interfaith panel consists of brothers from the religious faith of Al-Islam, of Christianity, and Judaism. I'd like to begin by introducing our guests. The first person we have here is Imam Deen Mohammed. He is a Muslim, and he is of the religion of Al-Islam. He believes in the Holy Qur'an and the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad, and this is what he teaches. He is also the resident Imam of the Masjid Honorable Elijah Muhammad in Chicago, Illinois. And Brother Imam, we'd like to welcome you.
Thank you very much.
Program.
It's a pleasure
And
to be back.
our next guest is Father Bill Young, and he is of the Marian Christian High School, and he's a teacher there. And from what I understand, he's a very excellent teacher.
Thank you.
So we'd like to welcome you to our program. And next we have Minister William Roberts, and he is of St. Stephen's United Methodist Church.
Correct.
And he is the associate pastor. And next we have Brother Rabbi Shaul Usaichi. Get that name right, Brother Rabbi. Also, he is of the congregation Brit Shalom. And I'd like to welcome all of you gentlemen to our program. And dear beloved viewers, I wish I'd had more time to really tell you a little more history on these brothers, because it's really fascinating and very interesting, their careers and the work they've been doing. So maybe one day soon I can get them to agree to come on my program, a one-on-one, each one of them, and we can interview them. So at this time, I'd like to also let you know that all of us are members of an interfaith organization called Interfaith Media Network. And the purpose of this Interfaith Media Network is to bring people of different faiths together so that we can begin to work together to try and solve these terrible problems that we have in our society. And this is something that's been needed all the time for us to work together. So this is what we're trying to do here, is to show you that it can be done. So at this time, I would like to get to the questions. What we're going to discuss is questions concerning some of the problems in our society. And we want to hear the views from each one of our guests. Also, I'm thinking that there's a storehouse of information here, you know, between the brothers we have sitting here. So let's get on to the first question. The first question is, are men and women equal in every respect? And I think it'll be interesting for us to know how each one of you view women. So let's start with you, Brother Imam. Please.
They're unequal in some respects.
I see. What respects?
I would say the average woman can't compete with the average man in a physical contest.
I see. So you're saying that physically they're usually not equal?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. How do you feel about the rights of women?
Should be equal.
Should be equal. All right. Father Young?
I'd basically, I think, go along with that. It's obviously physical differences, but in terms of any kind of rights and dealing in jobs and society, that rights are equal. I think women are just as equally intelligent and I think as capable of being different professions as men are. If you take away that sometimes physical difference, and that's not always true. It's getting narrower and narrower as the great athletes are showing us. So,
I see what you mean.
but basically, I would say they're very, very equal.
Okay, thank you. Minister Roberts?
I believe too that they're equal in our denomination, United Methodist Church. We are ordaining women, as several of the denominations are, as ministers. We've got a ways to go so far as how equally they're treated. I think there's a discrepancy between what we write down in our doctrines and what our actions are, but we do believe in, basically, we believe in the equality of the sexes.
Right. Brother Rabbi?
The only thing I can add to that is to simply say that as far as the Jewish community is concerned, that we certainly believe in the equal rights of men and women in all facets of public life and also in all facets of religious life, although there are various ideas about the role of women in Judaism depending on which branch of Judaism one adheres to. Essentially, the conservative and the reform movement and the Orthodox, to a different extent, do uphold the equal right of women in all religious affairs.
Now, this next question, we know there's a little difference in the teachings in all of our religions. And I'm beginning to find out just from that first question that they're a lot alike. But there is a little difference. So now the question I want answered here is, should that difference in our religious teachings keep us from working together for the moral and spiritual development of our society? Brother Imam?
Well, I'll have to say that little difference may be a big difference. Depends on from where you're standing,
Yes, sir.
But even the big differences that I see between the major faiths doesn't justify us not coming together to fight the common evils that are bothering man's life, make trouble for the life of man. We should be able to come together to fight the common enemy, and that's ignorance, diseases, etc.
All right.
Absolutely. I don't see any reason why we can't come together to work. There are some differences, and I think different faiths would maybe disagree on some particular issues, but there are some monumental moral issues that we can come together and we can work on, and I think we've got more in common in many ways than we have apart. And I just, we just got to do it. We're never going to conquer some of the problems if we don't come together.
For the survival of our
right.
our
So
society.
absolutely.
Okay.
Belief in one God, it seems to me, gives us a place to stand so far as faith is concerned, and therefore we have the capacity to be able to do some things together because of the values that our different religions present us with. There are certain claims on us. We believe in one God, and that God has claims on us, claims on our society. We ought to, in as many ways as we can, try to measure up to those claims. whether it's along moral lines or ethical lines or just the way that we treat each other and respond to each other. There are lots of things, very positive things that we can do, and we ought to address ourselves to those things.
Okay. Rabbi?
I'll just say amen. And just add that I think that one of the basic criteria for any kind of meaningful dialogue begins with a mutual recognition of the legitimacy and the authenticity of our respective religious beliefs. And I think when we're able to acknowledge that, then we're able to have productive and fruitful communication and perhaps really make some headway in terms of solving mutual problems.
Yeah, very good. Now the next question is a question concerning an issue that I think's been on the burner for maybe well, quite a few years now, you know, and that one is the question of creation and evolution. You know, it seems that the scientists, they hold on to evolution, and the religious people say that creation, that, you know, God created everything at once, you know, especially man, you see. So now, what I would like to know is you brothers' views on that, creation and evolution. How do you view that?
Well, do you have to start here?
Well, no. Rabbi, we'll start with Rabbi.
I'd be happy to. From my perspective, I don't see any conflict between the teaching of evolution and the belief in the Bible. I don't think they're incompatible, and therefore I see no particular conflict. The only conflict I see is when the teaching of the Bible's account of creation, which is essentially a religious teaching, is injected into our public schools, and I see a problem there. I believe that the explanation of the why of creation, and not the how of creation, but the why of creation, belongs in our churches and in our homes and amongst our religious institutions. I don't believe it belongs in the domain of the school. But other than that, I see no problem in reconciling the two.
I agree with the rabbi. I do have a problem when we're presented with the concept of evolution as not being a way that God could have created us. If God chose to create us over, or create the earth and the heavens over long periods of time, basically the book of Genesis still, even though we may look at it that way, we can still accept what I believe that the book of Genesis is telling us about creation. God did do it all, and how he did it is maybe not that important, and perhaps we've made too much of an issue of this. The basic thing, it seems to me, is that a loving God did create us, and how he did it, to me, if he did it through evolution, which I see no reason for us to dispute. If he did it that way, then that's, to me, a very beautiful thing. But I know there are people that disagree with me, and I respect their right to do so.
I think we'd be about the same position. The Bible, even the Bible itself, gives two different accounts of creation in Genesis, and it's a matter of trying to synthesize all of these things together. And I guess from a Catholic perspective, it would be basically if God allowed our physical bodies to somehow evolve, and we know that our bodies develop and all of that, we would probably say at some point in time he gave us what we call the soul, which makes us essentially different from animals. But it's, if God wants to do that over 10 million years, I'm not going to tell God he can't do that. And so it's kind of a middle ground, but I think we make a bigger issue of it than it needs to be. I think we've taken the whole thing of creation and creationism and made that a vehicle for other things that are going on. And I think that's one of the things we have to do. The Bible doesn't prove one way or the other, and evolution doesn't prove one way or the other. Somehow we have to put all those things together, and we got to be careful of making issues of the wrong things.
True.
Yeah, the Bible is not a scientific textbook as it's sometimes thought of.
It's a religious book.
I think somebody's trying to get us off track.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Brother Imam?
I would agree with everything that has been said.
Okay. Okay, now the next question is dealing with some of the problems in our society that's really threatening all of us today, you know, and our families. Now, you know that we're plagued now by immorality in our society, and it's really getting out of proportion. And crimes like drug abuse, sex abuse, child abuse, alcoholism, and, you know, drunken drivers are killing and maiming hundreds of thousands of people every year, you know. So now, what do you think is the cause of this, and what do you think the solution is? How should we go about solving this problem?
Wow. Who wants to tackle that
So,
one?
Father Burt, you go ahead.
Well,
Anybody?
What I think we should understand that just like society is very much like a human being in its health. We have our healthy days and our bad days, good days and our bad days. And we're seeing some of the bad days of the body of society, you see. I think we just have to use the best medicine and create the best environment and just work against it very rationally and with love for even the worse off.
Yeah. In other words, like the doctor works on us over a period of time, sometimes to get us well. Okay.
I think I would probably say that all of those things are somehow a result of sin. And we live in a world that is not perfect. We know our human experience tells us that our world is not perfect. And an underlying cause of all those evils is sin, and that's a nice theological way to say it. But in particular circumstances, such as alcoholism, which is a disease, it's a real human weakness and a human frailty, and it comes from a lot of things. Our society perhaps contributes a lot because we are becoming a very fast fix society. You know, take a pill for this. Everything has to be solved right away. Americans have a terrible problem with patience. We are not a patient people. If a problem takes more than a week to solve, then it's far too long. We have to learn from our brothers and sisters in the human community in other parts of the world. It takes longer, and we've got to get out of that pleasurable, that hedonistic type thing where we can solve everything right away. And there's just, I guess, I could go on for hours on that. That's a huge problem. But basically, I think it's a result of sin that we have, as the Bible teaches, we have created within ourselves a distance between us and God because of our sin.
And you know, I noticed that in all of our scriptures, God tells us about patience. He always puts that out front. You must learn to have patience. So
right
you're
now.
right about that. Minister,
I certainly agree with what the Imam and what Father Burt have said. You know, the home and family are bombarded today. Values of our society are accepted on a large scale as being always there and always presenting families and homes with this option or that one, buy this, buy that, use that plastic money, and there are just all kinds of pressures. There's the general anxiety that comes about because of the fact that the world is sort of on edge right now. The situation with Russia and the United States, and generally the whole worldwide situation is
so you're saying
anxiety.
tension has a lot to do with it?
Well, there's a great deal of anxiety. All of these things, it seems to me, sort of converge with this general problem that Father Burt was talking about, this problem of sin. And I think there's some confusion. And
I'm sure there is. I'm
it's
confused about some of it.
Well, I think a lot of us are. And it may be, though, that the secret is going to at least be manifested by the home
Let's
itself.
let Rabbi deal with it. You know?
Well,
He
I'm not
seems
sure
rather
I can
anxious.
offer any better advice than that was given, but I think, you know, to talk about it in this context is overwhelmingly intimidating. I mean, there's so many political, social, economic facets of all of this that it just boggles the mind. But just perhaps one general observation. I think one of the things that all of those complex factors have done has caused us to focus more on the individual and less on the community, less upon the cooperative, interdependent nature of people, and moved us from a position of viewing us as in need of each other's help and guidance to a position where we think that each one of us can solve the problems ourselves for ourselves. And I think that's a kind of a dangerous trend that's been developing in our society.
So what we need is more cooperation between. That's beautiful. Okay. Anybody else want to make a comment on that particular?
I was listening to a friend of mine give a talk on that, and he was talking about television. So he said, television bad? And he said, well, no, television sets are. And you go to some families where I come from, and everybody has their own set. There's 4 and 5 sets in a house, and everybody go in their own room and watch whatever program they want, and they never have to make a corporate decision. They never have to decide something for the common good. From the time they're 6 or 7, they grow up, just go off in their own little room, and we create and, not create, but we encourage that individualism. Just a small thing like that. That's a very small example, maybe, of what you were talking about, that of how it fits into even into our family. But it sounds so good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Everybody have their own sets, so we don't fight. And maybe we ought to fight. I mean, maybe that would be really good to fight, so we can come up with the idea of common
Yes.
good.
Sometimes I think maybe once a month, at least once a month, they should just not watch television. And I believe the family would come close together. They begin to get to know each other. You know, I think the family's just gotten divided. You know, and that'll really create problems. You know, the children don't know the parents, parents don't know the children. You know.
Absolutely.
So now, here's a question on unemployment. Now, most of the time when you think of unemployment, you don't think about religion or religious people, you see. But now, we have a severe problem of unemployment in our society today. Now, is there anything that religious leaders or religious people can do to help solve this problem? You know, what suggestions could you give?
Well, I know if I can say I can speak for our religion and also for Christianity, as it used to be lived in the poor black community. We used to consider idleness a sin. And for Muslims, idleness is still a big sin. And I don't think any Muslim person should accept to be idle, even though the jobs are not available. We should find something constructive to do, and find some way of earning a decent living by decent means, while we at the same time trying to influence the powers that be to give more attention to the need to create jobs or to make jobs available to people. I don't think we can wait for the sky to rain down a new situation. We have to take what we've got and make it work for ourselves and not give in to this temptation just to be idle and wait on a welfare check or wait on somebody to give you something.
I know what you mean. Does anyone make comments on this? We won't, because our time's getting short, so anybody that wants to.
I think the churches are somewhat limited in what they can do about the unemployment situation. I do think that Christian people, speaking as a Christian, we should inform ourselves as much as we can on the political issues and on the candidates, and try to go toward things with our nation, our politics, to produce the best economy that we can and stimulate the possibilities for employment.
I think basically that's, again, it's one of those big problems. It's hard to say.
Okay, I think we have time for about one more question. And this is something that's really been an issue. And this is more of a religious question, I suppose. Abortion. There's been quite a controversy about that as to whether it should be made legal or under what circumstances should it be permitted. And this all comes under family planning also, is included in that. So they said that the family planning and the idea of abortion is in some cases because of poverty, or just to make it easier for parents because of their careers, or they just don't want all their time taken up to raise children. Now, I'd like to know, what are your views on abortion and family planning? Is there any time that it should be permitted?
I think right away, after all, the authority for us in our life is the Word of God. And I think right away a verse in the Qur'an that says, do not kill your children for fear of want, out of the fear of want. If I'm making my family small because I fear that I won't have enough food for them, or if I'm trying to improve the material situation for myself and my wife and perhaps the 1 or 2 children we have, and I say, well, another child would threaten this level of comfort that we want, then I think I would be un-Islamic. I think I would be going against my religion to do that. But certain cases where certain situations where life is threatened, the life of the mother is threatened, then that would be altogether different situation, I think.
I think basically I would say, and I think the Catholic Church would say, that human beings are human beings, whether they're inside the womb or outside the womb. Humanity is humanity, and it's not up to us to make the choice. That God is the author of life. He's also the caller to death. We all have to die. I mean, none of us is going to escape death. And perhaps, if the mother's life is threatened, perhaps it is the mother's time to die. Who are we to say when it's somebody's, and especially when we're dealing with a conflict of 2 human beings? We're not talking like in an accident. So human beings are human beings, and I think if we just say the right to life is the right to life.
Who do you think should make that decision, you know, if the mother's life is threatened?
I think it has to be God. Yeah, it's a rarity. That doesn't happen all that often. And we have to, use all our terms of medical science and all sorts of, it's a complicated thing, but basically it has to be, we think it would have to be God that decides.
Minister Roberts.
I can't really speak for my church. I can't say that in every case abortion should be turned down if there's a request for an abortion. But I think it's something that we ought to tread very carefully with, and if there's incestuous rape or some such situation as that, and
I don't mean to cut you
abortion
short,
is
but our time is
requested.
just about up, and I'll
I'd just
certainly
say
want to
that the Jewish community takes a somewhat different position on this issue. By and large, while we hold the sanctity of life, we also hold the sanctity of the body. And under certain circumstances, abortion has always been permitted in Jewish tradition. We never really considered an embryo or a fetus to be a full life in the sense of what perhaps Father Bill is talking about. While we accorded it the status of life, its rights versus the rights of the mother in terms of a life-threatening situation were considered secondary. It would be an issue of self-defense, perhaps what we might call the aggressor-pursuer principle, so that Judaism has permitted that kind of situation.
Okay, gentlemen, I'm sorry. This is really interesting. It's getting better all the time, but we've got to wrap it up. So I want to thank you very much for being on my program, and I want to have you back again, with your permission.
Absolutely.
And dear beloved people, I want to leave and greet you with the greetings of Assalamu Alaikum, which means, may the peace of Almighty God be upon you. Sorry to rush off, but my time is up. See you next time.
The American Muslim Mission in Focus. This program has dealt with the misunderstandings that exist in this country about the Muslim religion. We hope this program will bring about a better understanding of the religion of Islam. We also hope this program will encourage all people to begin to know each other better so that we can work together to assure the survival of our country.